The council has assembled. They are eager to hear your report.
Hello, good evening. Thanks for joining us. We'll begin tonight's meeting of the council by calling the council to order. Hello to everyone and thanks for joining us. The council is a live Twitch talk show and podcast discussing Star Wars: The Old Republic. I'm Elise, and with me are my fellow council members, Magic Ace.
Hello.
Redna.
Greets.
And Zakari.
Hi, everybody. I am seeing green lines, so we're all audible for a change, and that makes me very happy.
So this week we're going to be talking about what we like about SWTOR.
Have you guys seen my title graphic? I'm so proud of my title graphic for this. It's a kitten with a unicorn horn and like rainbows. It's positively awful.
I'm sad that I'm missing that.
And the title of this episode, I'm very proud of. Can I say it, Elise?
Yes.
Because Elise didn't want to. She was like,
if the cat isn't on fire, it isn't worthwhile. That's all I'm saying.
Yes, the epic
Come
kitten.
on, kitties are great.
No,
that is the entertainment value.
Yeah.
This is not why we're here. Leave the cats alone. After our live broadcast, you can find our recorded episodes everywhere podcasts are found and on our YouTube channel. Just click on the panel below. You can visit our website at thecouncilswtor.com. Also, check out social media. Don't forget us on Twitch. That's The Council SWTOR. You can find our Twitter at thecouncilswtor.com. We have Facebook, which is facebook.com/thecouncilswtor. If you generally Google us, you'll find us anywhere. But wait, there's more. You can also find us at patreon.com/thecouncilswtor. And if you just Google Magic Ace, my name's literally attached to everything. And since I'm unforgettable, you can find
There's a
me
shameless plug in there somewhere, I think.
So just interested. That's it. I'm just interested. I'm interested in you guys finding us, okay?
That sounds great to me. Yes, indeed. Okay, so the title of this episode, I've got to say it because I'm so dang proud of it. SWTOR, what is it good for?
Oh, she didn't take it.
She didn't.
I'm not doing that because it sounds like you're gonna put the game down. I'm not doing that.
I'm glad I didn't. I'm glad I didn't make a bet with Elise because I was like, you know what? If you just say it, Magic will finish it.
I'm missing that I didn't get those. Didn't put some money down.
I feel like that was a trap. I feel like General Akbar's point. It's a trap. I'm like, I'm not gonna sing. I'm not gonna finish it.
We are going to talk about the positives of SWTOR tonight. What stuff that we like. I've noticed kind of in recent episodes, you know, we're talking about things, we're digging deep in things, we're chewing on things, we're doing some constructive criticism, we're doing a lot of what-ifing. A lot of that sometimes is great, but every now and then it's nice just to stop and smell the roses. So that's kind of the idea tonight. We're all going to be mentioning things. Hey, here's something I appreciate. We'll chat about it. If there's anything that you would like to mention in chat as we get this thing going, that you appreciate about SWTOR, or anything that you like about it, feel free to mention it. And of course, as always, we will make sure that stuff that stands out to us gets mentioned. The icebreaker for tonight, as Redna leaves. The icebreaker. The question of the night is, have you gotten a chance to play recently? Or, you know, within the last week, I guess. If so, what did you do with your time? And you know what?
Can I go first?
Yeah,
Me?
absolutely. Go for it.
For once, I actually want you to make me go first. Okay, so what I've been doing basically is just grinding dailies so I can afford my hard mode raid team and the nightmare farming I've been doing because that is so expensive. So I've been doing a whole lot of that. Plus, with the anticipation of the new augments coming out, I finally got a Sork 248 completely geared, and I'm working on min-maxing her right now. And I'm also working on a DPS and a tank for that. And I'll tell you what, it's so expensive. So, also, I'm on my new computer tonight because my NVIDIA card was destroyed, basically. It was a terrible one, and they sent me a new one made by a different manufacturer. It's actually made by NVIDIA, not by like Asus or anyone like before. So my computer's working. So what was I doing before this? I was on Star Wars on the highest graphics I could, just to do CZ for the pure fact that I just wanted to see all the shadows and nameplates and things that I don't normally see. So that's what I've been doing. And what do I appreciate in Star Wars? Let me tell you. I think that people do not appreciate this game because they don't have the graphics capabilities that this game
I know, right?
Okay,
does.
so you gotta wait. Save that for the discussion.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, it works in what I'm saying. So just doing CZ is a whole new world, okay? I could pop out Aladdin and just serenade you guys because that's how I feel. CZ's never been so beautiful.
Zerka.
CZ 198?
198?
It's the
CZ 198. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought this was like short for like JK.
No.
It's like CZ, Crazy Zebra.
All I'm saying is, CZ 198's never been so beautiful. So for all the haters, you just don't really know what you're missing yet. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no kidding. It's when your frame rate goes down to, like, I played this thing on 4 frames per second for like 3 years on a terrible potato until I finally got to experience Magic's awakening to the greatness that is great graphics. So I hear you. Elise, what about you? Have you had a chance to play over the last week or two?
Oh, it's me. Oh, we're going backwards.
Yeah, why not?
I did. Well, I did. I got to play Tuesday. I didn't get to play Friday because I had to drop in WOG, which is fine.
Nonsense, you're missed.
It was awesome.
I whined the whole time, and so did Kurt.
Well, you know, other people got to play that normally don't get to play, so, you know, we must do. I am sad, though, because I have never finished TOS. So that would have kind of been cool.
Well, we didn't in WOG either, so there you go.
Okay. Who knows? You guys might have done worse.
It wasn't a missed opportunity.
Yeah, the Underlurker might have shut us down.
See, I told you. Everybody's like, oh, the Underlurker is so easy now. And I'm like, oh, contraire. WOG has not made it past Underlurker. Just saying. There are people who still struggle.
Not because we cannot. Just a matter of the whole WOG is everybody getting together and drinking while they raiding. It's the drinking that's stopping us, okay?
No,
it's not
I don't think that's it.
And then they drop characters and get into the operation. And
it's not that WOG can't do it, because we can. We did Ravagers last week, or the last time, right? Didn't we march through Ravagers?
I think we cleared all of Ravagers.
I mean, that was the first time WOG has cleared Ravagers.
I know,
like,
you
literally.
were like,
that was like...
shocked.
Right. I was like ecstatic about it, but it takes WOG longer to get there than other groups.
A few more
and
tries.
That's just the way it goes. So
just anybody wondering, just out of the blue, WOG is what's an ops group. It's what our guild does. It's basically a big old drunken Friday night story brawl. There are no expectations at all. It's just stupid. It's stupid fun, and that's what it's.
Learning group.
Yeah,
so if you've never done an operation before, that's the group you get put into first too. So
that's the group you want to be in, because nobody knows what they're doing, so you don't need to feel bad not knowing what you're doing.
Exactly.
Right. Exactly. A few people who know what they're doing, but just other than them, nobody knows what they're doing.
Well, yes, but then you guys are there to help.
Yeah,
we're there to do something.
JT makes me do the words. He's like, words. Hey, Magic. I'm like, thanks, JT.
Someone needs to explain this fine. I don't want to hear you do
exactly.
it.
Right.
So, Redna, what have you been doing logging in this game?
Got off topic.
What? No way. Us?
Hey, you went on about going into the discussion part. So back up there for a minute, ma'am. I finished my smuggler story for the first time. So
congratulations! Isn't the twist at the end fabulous?
What?
I like the twist in the middle and at the end.
The twists in that story.
I'm sorry. Can you? What? Now you have to understand this.
She did it, but she doesn't remember.
Well,
I did like a chapter, a quarter, not even a month.
Yeah. Okay, so no, I did the same thing. Way back in the day, I pushed a smuggler through until Voss and then stopped. And then on other characters played like through, the Fallen Empire and Eternal Throne stuff. And then came back and finished that character. And by then I was so disjointed, I had no idea what I was doing.
Yeah,
so if you don't do it all the way through, it does kind of fall apart.
But the thing is, the best part about the smuggler, hands down, is it's really the only class storyline that really nailed the inherent humor of Star Wars.
Yes, exactly. It's
Elise feels very strongly, and I think I
have to say that
Standpoint,
depending on which choices you choose. Yeah.
Yes.
So, and the bounty hunter one is pretty funny if you chose the right ones too. At least the female one was. I don't know about the male one. I haven't played that one, but the female, and that voice actress is actually excellent. So, but anyway, okay. And I shopped for decos. So
hey, this
Manon Stronghold.
sounds like a positive couple weeks to me.
It was a week.
Okay, a week. Redna, what about you? What did you do this week in game? How'd it go for you?
Okay, so I got up briefly because, you said at the beginning here that sometimes we just need a topic to sit and smell the roses.
You got the roses.
I ran out to my garden and got the last rose that's actually still alive. It's not very well alive, but it is there.
Not
there
anymore.
were actually 2 when I sat down, but yeah, there's
only
a lot of
the
pieces fell off when I sat down. So
you have roses that go that long. They need like a break. Don't you guys have any like?
I know I was supposed to cut them back in January, and I don't know how to do that. So I guess I gotta hire someone.
You're gonna have no energy to make more roses.
Oh, you should see. Yeah, they're more like bushes than plants right now.
Well, they never go off topic. That's ridiculous.
Hey, you know what? I said smelling the roses, and Redna's the only one that took us literally.
That's right.
Well, I looked around, but I don't have any flowers with me, but my in-laws brought me a bouquet of like lollipops. Does that count? Like I've got those.
There you go. That's at least something you can smell.
Yeah, that's all I got. I just drop it. I'm gonna break it.
Let's see. This week I hit CXP 300 on my first tune ever. Woohoo!
Heck yeah, we're having a good week, guys. Yeah. So how does it feel to have a 300?
It feels like really awesome. The thing is, when you hit 300, they don't just automatically give you like 4 248 pieces. You actually
I know. You can't hit.
So instead, I had to do that whole leveling up one more time and get my pack. Yep. And lo and behold, there was a 248. So I was okay.
It doesn't mean squat.
Then I did it again. I got another 248, and then I went into an operation. And I got another 248. So. I mean, basically, end of the day, I'm pretty happy because I got 3 248s in my first 3 CXP levels after 300.
That makes me very jealous.
But otherwise, yeah, operations and PvP, and actually, because I had made basically after the operation group that I did last week, I talked to the lead, and we were just setting up some goals in order to get myself in position. Because when I came into the group, I was solidly the bottom damage dealer. Sometimes
not that I ever rubbed it in, but yes.
You didn't.
The parsons speak for themselves.
Anybody that watches my Twitch knows I was like, oh my god, this feels horrible. I haven't been at the bottom for years. But anyway, so we sat and we talked, and I was like, well, I've got this goal to hit CXP 300 by the end of the month. Of course, as soon as you make that goal public and someone's going to hold you accountable to it, instead of waiting till the end of the month, I got it done in like 4 days.
So have you parsed since getting some of this gear together? What's your DPS right now?
No, but I'm actually pretty solidly 3rd DPS in the group now and rising. But the big thing is my item rating now is still... I was 244. I'm now up to 245. So I still got like half of my items need to be upgraded from 242 to 248. But all of them are 242 properly statted items.
And you're running a virulence sniper, correct? Or is it something different? Most of the time. Yeah. Well, cool. I'm glad to hear that. Yeah, I finally got on my tank this week the last piece that I needed for my 248, the complete set. I was in complete, everything was 248 except for the armoring on my leggings. And I was not getting that at all, and finally I got it out of a pack, so that made me very happy. I was able to get that subbed out. The only thing is now I believe the best in slot for the mods is the 246 B mod. Why are you sprinkling roses? But yeah, I mean, so I've got to now turn to that.
Because he's done smelling it now.
Yeah, oh yes, indeed. But anyway, yeah, I mean, so I guess it's been a good week for gearing and for character leveling and stuff for the group of us. Heck yeah, it's a good way to start this episode off, I think. Anyone else have anything positive that they want to throw in before we go on?
I got GG to agree to let me stream a third day.
Wow.
So it will now be Sundays, Mondays, and Fridays. For me, that's a really exciting thing.
I actually get to stream again. Woo!
Oh yeah, you're gonna get back into it.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Tomorrow I will be streaming, not like I'm plugging or anything, but we're talking.
No, let's do it. Hey, we're the council. We might as well.
Are you on
This is our
right
channel.
now?
No, I'm not on right now. Well, yeah, I'm hosting Star Wars though, like our Star Wars the Council of SWTOR. Yeah.
So at some point tomorrow,
course.
Magic is gonna stream. What is your channel? We might as well plug it. Let's do it.
Magic Ace, like my name over here in the corner.
Twitch.tv/Magic Ace. Do you know what time you're gonna go live? Or just go live
Well,
whenever?
probably after I drop my son off. So like Central Standard Time, probably around 8:30 in the morning.
Right. And then Redna, you're going live tonight, right? After this to stream the rating.
Yeah, like half an hour after we finish this one.
So anyone who wants to join him.
7:30's pretty much every time I stream. 7:30 Pacific, just because that's when the operations group is on, and then WOG is usually at 8, but I'll usually kick it on early, leading into it. So
just hang out a little bit before it. Yeah, that sounds cool.
Yeah.
All right, so Elise, would you like to introduce our poll topic this week and what all we got up to?
So we asked the community what their feelings were about developed content for the game over the last 12 months. And we asked them to rate how BioWare is done. And you got 3 choices. That they've done a good job, it's okay, or a poor job. The exact question is, over the last 12 months in developing content for SWTOR, would you say BioWare has done? And then it was a good job, okay, or a poor job.
All right, and those map to A, B, and C, respectively, and they're in chat, so feel free to jump in and vote for however you would answer that question, just by listing the letter A, B, and C. And we'll take a moment and we'll discuss how chat would answer that here in a little bit. But not before we answer it ourselves.
I think this is all perspective, personally, because people
this is purely anecdotal.
Absolutely.
People who play a lot of games and they're used to when other games pop out content, to them, like, this may be severely lacking and they think it's the worst thing ever. Or there's the people who generally don't care because they just play what they're given. You know, it's free to play or whatever, and they maybe sub just for the month to get the new content. They're like, okay, I got new stuff. Like, they probably don't care. For me personally, like, of course I would like more, but I don't know how to do this stuff. I couldn't do it any better for them. I could suggest things all day long and all year long, like I do, because I can. But that does not mean that I am technically unhappy with them. Ideally, would I like stuff like the Shadow of Revan to be released like every couple of years? Heck yes, I would be thrilled with that. But personally, I think they do a good job just because like I've never played another game. I don't know what the content's supposed to be like, and I hear all the negativity about it, and that's okay. You guys are totally green light to feel that way. I personally think they do a good job because I like most of the time what I'm given, and I couldn't do it myself, and I would be doing something else if they didn't do this. So personally, I'm happy with it, but I'm in a very, very small minority, it appears.
She's also in a very good mood being able to play it on a nice computer.
Hey, I answered this the other day before this
everything.
came in. Thank you.
Hey,
but yes,
it's okay.
Helps.
Yeah, no kidding.
That was a soapbox for anybody that was wondering.
So,
I was actually wondering.
Looked like a tissue box to me.
Doing with that tissue box.
That means that we're gonna make Redna answer the question next.
So, because I don't know what Magic was going about, but I was looking at the results coming in the chat room, and yeah, everybody pretty much agrees with her. So I, in the chat room, voted for this is doing a piss poor job, like FML. Okay, but really I voted for doing a good job. But I'm gonna be contrary, and this was a piss poor job.
I don't know why you're jumping in because I think everybody pretty much knows how I would vote for the last 12 months.
I know, I was watching your face, Elise. When I was giving mine, I was watching your face, ready for the oh my gosh.
No,
That's why I put Elise in the middle so that we can be start positive and end positive.
So you don't have to take one for the team. Go ahead, rah rah there. Go.
All right, so no, Elise, feel free to say your how you'd answer and why. I think you deserve to be able to voice it, right?
I mean, it doesn't matter. I don't mind. I was actually thinking about abstaining so we could keep the, positivity.
Abstaining. Pass.
This isn't a parliament vote. You will not abstain. Speak, woman, speak.
The story content is the number one thing for any game that I play. And if the story is disappointing, I am disappointed. And there really is very little else that can save the game unless there's no story in it, like Overwatch, for example.
No, that's perfectly fine. Yeah, absolutely.
So I have been disappointed in the last 12 months for overall with the story content. So, and I don't think I've been quiet about that. BioWare is capable of great writing. I'm still waiting for the last 12 months. So finishing the smuggler story, again, just reinforced that. So I'm hopeful that they get back to writing BioWare. I don't want just content. I want BioWare writing. And that's the disappointing part. It's not, there's been parts of Kotfi and IOCAP, and I haven't finished Copera, so maybe I'll be pleasantly surprised. But that they've had moments, but I'd like them to be a little bit more consistent. I'd like them to get back to.
Well, that's
BioWare.
I mean, frankly, that's why I take the story, because playing this game originally, when I came into the game, quite frankly, I don't think that there was any game that I was particularly drawn into the story. Like, I'm more of a gamer that enjoys playing. Like, it's the aspect of physically playing, beating, be it puzzle games or, whatever. It's the mechanics and the play style and beating things and going through and defeating them. A hard boss, it's got mechanics, whatever, be it a solo player game or a, group content.
Redney, you're an achiever.
Hard boss.
An achievement
right.
play
Well,
style.
I just like knowing that I've, like, for me, beating the game means beating everything, as opposed to finishing watching the story, right? But that said, because that sounds like, so what do I care about story? To be quite frank, before I even got into doing operations, I played through 2 characters start to finish, and did it with a buddy where I was going through and watching his choices on 2 other characters. So frankly, in the time it took me to complete 2 character storylines, I got to witness 2 of them. And then, because those base stories were so good, I did take the time to go through and play every single one of them, light side, dark side, male, female, human, and non-human, because that story was that good. Now, since the launch of the game, I haven't seen them add any story that was that compelling again. So realistically, that's not what I'm looking for in this game. It was wonderful that it started there, but until they bring me that, and that's the BioWare storytelling. Until they bring me that kind of level, like you're saying, at least, of BioWare storytelling, I'm kind of really happy that they've backed away from it, because they've been giving me trash for years, and realistically, until you're willing to give me something that's as good as what you started with, don't waste my time.
Yeah. No, there's an old saying that what you win them with is what you win them to, and I think what happens is that here's the initial game, and what happens, the player base comes in, and that creates a lot of expectations. Ooh, this is a game. This is what this game is going to be, and when they veer from that, then you have people that struggle to make that change with them. So no, it's understandable.
I agree with that, but my only thing that I would say if I had a developer standing in front of me is BioWare, also one of their strengths is they write amazing DLC. Like, they're one of the best studios to write DLC. So they are quite capable of bringing it back if they choose. I'm waiting. Yeah. I'm waiting.
Yeah, no, totally.
I would love to see that. If they put half the effort into even like a small story that they did, like say the Citadel DLC for Mass Effect 3, it would be epic. That was such a surprise. When I downloaded that and played it, I was blown away. I'm like, this was added to the game. This is added.
They can
So they
save
can
games with
do
their
it.
DLC.
They
Yeah,
can do it.
absolutely.
Sorry, you can hear Magic Baby running like a hoodlum because she is.
All right,
But
I'm
yeah.
done.
Well, and you know, actually, to that point, the thing that I was thinking about, because we never brought it up on a previous episode where we were going to talk about perhaps adding characters, but one idea was that I had was actually similar to what, you know, sorry to bring up the dreaded World of Warcraft, but the one thing that I did like was that when they added a new base class or advanced class or whatever, they added the Dread Knight, right? But it started at level 50 and it went through story tied into the latest expansion. Now, I would be actually totally okay with let's add that a new class for the Kotfi Kotet story. And you could actually even claim, when you were to incorporate that this was actually the origin story for that base class, and play through all of that content, and that's the experience that you would have for that character, you know, because that's really how Kotfi and Kotet were really broken out. Now, if I were to say, rather than being jaded because, oh, you're making all 8 of my classes go through the exact same story with no differentiation, under the premise that basically all my other characters have been blown out of the water, you know, give me a new class to play it through, and this is their origin story. That would be exciting for me.
Yeah, absolutely. Would have been a good opportunity, I think. Let me see. How would I answer this? I actually said a good job. I would have said that they'd have done a good job. At least I feel very much like you do about the story content. Because after the Eternal Throne expansion, that was kind of like the end of it, and now they're just kind of, well, the Iocath, I'll give them some of that. There was some okay stuff in Iocath. But after that, I mean, it's just been like, it's like, well, here's a flashpoint just to kind of give you a hint. Oh, there's this intrigue. And then here's another flashpoint. Oh, there's still some intrigue. And it's really the repeat of the same story. Oh, hey, we got close to this person, but he slipped through our fingers, you know. And it's like, well,
Okay,
you're
good.
just
I'm
stringing.
not alone. It feels that way.
Yeah, you're stringing me along. You're just basically buying time. I can see that you're doing that. I'd rather you not waste my time, you know. But so I mean, like, really, this question is, how am I going to define what I consider positive? You get to pick that in how you answer this question. Redna has actually won me over with his argument that there's so much good stuff that has come out this year that's not story. The play style of everybody grouping up together and doing, like, there's a new operation. There's been flashpoints galore, the uprisings. I mean, there's been a lot of good stuff that's coming out. That's
new PvP and new GSF.
Yeah, that's community, and that's relationship building, and that is collaborative in its play style. And I have enjoyed that, and I want to hang on to that. And so that's what I would say. You know, I'm glad there's been a writing of the focus there. At least I'm still with you. I still want to see good story. Absolutely. And I agree with you. This is BioWare. BioWare can do this if they want to. They've simply chosen not to. But what I've chosen to focus on is the positive that is all of what, you know, the community content that they've brought out.
And don't misunderstand. I think all those things are great. And like I said, I haven't gotten on the forums and started ranting about story because, you know, we didn't have a new operation for forever. And for people who that's what they love, they've waited patiently while we got Shadow of Revan, or, you know, we got all that stuff after Shadow of Revan and all that stuff. I get it. And the PvP, the GSF people have been neglected for like eons. So, you know, those are all great things. But if we're talking about, you know, what drives any game for me, it's a story.
So what did chat say?
We are sending it to chat now. Let's have a look at what the results were. It looks like a good job. We had 9 people vote for that, 4 for okay, and 1 for a poor job, which is namely Redna.
Yes, I had to be contrary.
I saw him do it. So our chat seems to be kind of in the positive side of, you know, the positive camp on this.
Our poll responders were not in that game.
It's on screen. You might as well flesh it out for us.
So out of 367 votes, now I did notice that the posting itself was viewed over 1,000 times, I believe, 1.0 something K, I think it said. But out of 367 votes, 54% or 198 votes were a poor job. 129 votes or 35% was okay, and 40 votes or 11% was a good job. Now, a caveat should probably said that it generally tends to be the complainers that vote and the content people don't.
Right.
So that is something to always keep in mind when we have a poll.
I honestly expected this.
Yeah, and this is the thing that I've always felt like people are like, oh, but you should see the negativity in the forums. Yeah, but you know what? The people that are enjoying the game are actually in the game enjoying it.
Right.
People that aren't are the ones
complaining,
going somewhere else to complain about it.
That's
right?
me. Someone's
So,
like, oh,
yeah,
did you
in the
read
poll,
blah,
hey,
blah,
look,
blah?
rather than play the game, I'm going to go complain in this poll.
Right.
So this
actually-
poll was bad in that, like, we asked a bunch of complainers to tell us what they thought about what they want to complain about.
Okay, but you can take that tact, which I think is true. The other piece that you also need to keep in mind is, I think anecdotally, so we know that like around the 20% range actually would get on a vote, right, of a player population. And it just reading the forums, I read lots of forums, lots of places. People who like to do group content and especially rating tend to be on there more often than not. Those are the people who talk about the content that they like. Right. So of that 20%, I think it leans towards people who are rating and.
No, you're talking about the NIM raiders, right? Nightmare, the ones who really like the tough chat.
Like
okay.
When I get on forums, almost all the preponderance of people who talk about game content, they start talking about group content. Oftentimes it's PvE group content specifically, but it's group content. Rarely do you have people wax poetic on a forum about story players. Hey, I'm just a story player. That's what I want. It tends to be group content people. So, you know,
I would even argue that a lot of people, when they just hear the word content in regards to an MMO, that's actually what they're thinking of. They don't think of story content as part of the content that's in the release cycle. Yeah. They don't think of even like a stronghold as being content. You know, like when people really start digging, they'll say, "Oh, well, yeah, this is kind of content or whatever." But it's like, but really, it's oftentimes it is the group content, because that's usually where the larger challenge is situated at, right?
And it's specifically end game content, to piggyback on what you're saying. They think it's end game content.
Yeah, who would have thought an MMO would want group content?
Yes, but the number of people who actually do it in the player population is actually very small.
Right.
So
it is.
The irony too is that if you're going to be talking about MMO massively multiplayer, the thing that perhaps ought to be getting some attention would be like, oh, I don't know, guild features, where everybody congregates in their guild.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, quality of life and guild stuff has
been. They're still a part of their guild.
Fortunately, they are keenly aware of the guild features that are necessary. I mean, that's one thing I can say as an influencer. I know that they know that guild features are like some quality of life are necessary in that. So that's a good thing. I mean, we've gotten through, I think, in that sense. We'll see what happens in the coming months.
Well, I mean, I'm not an influencer, but I emailed Keith and gave him my stuff after the Cantina.
A strongly worded email.
Have as much pull as Elise. Okay.
Okay, go on.
All right, so the idea is that we're going to challenge ourselves tonight and try our very best to smell the roses. Q Redna with the throwing.
He already quit.
He has any more roses.
Okay.
He's already trampled on them. Dang it.
I swear I put in my bullet point. Oh, there they are down there. Okay.
I can totally chime in on what I was saying before, though, when you guys cut me off and told me to save it.
I accidentally moved my bullet points down to announcements rather than
I didn't put mine on there. I put them in another.
So
there we go.
I didn't either because mine are like not needed to be typed.
Okay, well, I'll tell you what.
The irony is now, and I can understand there are people that are going to be negative about this, because even last night in my live stream, I had a couple people actually, the 0.001%, the guys that were doing world firsts for Nightmare content as soon as it was released, and they had their offline leaderboards that they were all jazzercised about. They were in there, and one of the things, they've gone to other games. They're pushing content in other games where it's coming out with more consistency. And they're still coming back into my chat room last night and saying how much they miss SWTOR operations and game content. That the quality of the operations, particularly as the game came along, okay, you know, like with the launch of a game, you know, SOA, Karagas Palace, EV, these were good operations. I wouldn't say they were great, but then as they progressed, most of us that have spent a lot of time doing raids, you know, as they call it in other games, the development team for their operations content got better and better and better. The creative mechanics that they came up with, the gameplay, the operations were really deeply enjoyable, and they were something that a lot of us did look forward to. And now, there was a time I was doing Nightmare content. I haven't done all of it, and honestly, it's been so long that, like, I was looking at my achievements last night, and a lot of them are incomplete because, you know, I did it when it released, and it was before they put achievements into the game.
Right.
And I never went back and did it. But one thing, and this is something that I've been really, really enjoying, has been doing operations recently. I'm in a group that's pretty serious, but they're not, you know, drama mama tearing each other apart. They're capable. Like, as much as I was complaining earlier that I
quit if they were.
Yeah.
I put it together, and if they were going to be drama, I'd be like, goodbye.
And as much as I would complain about being at the bottom of the DPS charts, like, the flip side that I like to talk about is, you know what? It's been a long time since I've been challenged to improve myself in my own gameplay. So it actually is really good for me. Like, I like to have something to fight for so that I can get myself, scrap my way to the top again.
Yeah.
And for me, when it comes to the PvE content, that's the content I like the most. I don't enjoy flashpoints. I frankly gag at uprisings, you know. But the operations
not drama
are really
mama,
enjoyable.
Though, not at all.
And even though we're going back in and doing old content, it's nice to get together with and hang out with people that are able, that aren't, you know, trashing me. They have every right to trash me because I am the bottom of the DPS, but they haven't. They've instead encouraged, and we're taking down bosses. You know, it's like we're doing about an operation a week, and we'll be soon doing some Nightmare content. And for me, that has been the thing, like, recently that I've enjoyed the most.
That's cool. I'm glad that you get this fulfillment out of it. You know, yeah, definitely. So okay, so does anyone want to say anything to that?
Magic does, because she got cut off. There you go. I'll pump it for you.
Well, I also am in that group. I'm healing Redna's DPS scene, and yes, I kind of sort of stumbled onto this guild. I ran some flashpoints with them, and I was like, you know what? They seem like they know what they're doing. So I pulled a tune out and put one in there, and next thing I know, I'm organizing a group and leading a group, and we're running things, and I'm replacing people who were pansies and couldn't handle it, and then other people who couldn't keep their sub up. So
yeah, that tends to matter too.
Yeah, that's difficult because they don't have operations passes anymore. Hint, 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 wink.
I know. That is, yes.
So it's not like they're like, oh, I have to wait 3 days, and they can't do a sub code, and there's no passes, and so they can't play, and boom, we're screwed. But anyways, that's a different topic. But yeah, I've really, 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 really been thrilled because I've gotten achievements that I've been trying for years to get, and it's not that. A lot of people are like, oh, well, I'm not good enough to get that stuff. And I'm like, it's not necessarily if you're not good enough. It's like, do you have a group that even want to do it? It doesn't even matter really if you're not good enough if you don't have a group. You're never going to learn and get the skills that you need if you don't have a group that's also interested in that.
Putting together, there should be an achievement for putting together a functional raid team, because that is no easy task.
8 people with 8 different lives. You have to get them together on certain nights, and you can't just do it in one night usually. You usually have to have 2 nights a week that you can put 8 people's schedules together, and I had to have a spreadsheet. I had to have an Excel spreadsheet to figure out how to put that group together. And the one night I said I didn't want to do anything, Monday nights, boom, Sundays and Mondays, that's our raid nights. So I have to do Mondays anyways because of everyone else. That should be an achievement. I should have got an achievement. But anyways, I'm really enjoying that. And I've been doing Nightmare stuff, which is exciting. I'm also a sub healer on their Nightmare group, so I'm super excited about that. I appreciate that this game has that content. What I don't appreciate is that they're trying to take it away and or not produce more. But I appreciate the NIM content I have. Right. I've been farming NIM Nephra because that's like 106 components.
So you didn't mention this guild's name. I know you have in the past, but feel free to give them a shout out.
Brutality.
brutality on the
On
Satele
Satele
shot.
They don't deserve it, though.
Because we should certainly give Unholy Alliance plenty of shout-outs. I think, anything that we're involved in, feel free to plug it. Why not?
Yeah, that's what I've been doing. I love it.
Fantastic. Elise, do you have anything that you would throw in as a positive?
Graphics.
Hashtag.
Graphics.
Oh, sorry.
My
Was that
positive?
for you, Elise?
That wasn't for me. That was you.
Oh, okay.
Somebody's
well,
got a
positive is
fan
the graphics.
blowing on their microphone or something.
I thought I turned it off. Sorry.
There we go. Good. Just.
I always have to have my fan anytime we talk about Theron or anything.
Oh, wait.
That's hilarious.
This is my fan. It's called my hand.
So, are you done? I thought you were going to talk about your graphics.
Okay, I'll say it real quick because I kind of already said it, but just to remind everybody, a lot of people trash this game, like really trash it about graphics, and I've been negative before too about it. I'm not innocent of this. I have complained about things. I've like screenshotted things and tweeted SWTOR, and I'm like, what the heck? What's going on with this? Blah, blah, blah. Because running my mouth like I could fix it or do any better. But, oh my gosh, just even getting a better monitor, I had no idea how much it changed my graphics. When I had to swap back to my old computer for a little bit, but had the new monitor, I was shocked how much more crisp everything was. I was like, holy cow, look at that. I don't even have the new computer. Why does it look so good? And it dawned on me, it's the monitor. Even your monitor can affect how your game looks. Yeah. And then I have this epic computer now who I run everything on high. It's on an SSD, and it's like shadow
bloom and shadows,
and, yeah, I've got everything on, and it's on high, and like Andromeda's on ultra and all this stuff. And I'm not gonna lie, this changes everything. And I'm like, what I appreciate is how much work they had to have put into this stuff, how much time. Like, people rag on it all day long, and that's your prerogative, yeah, but I don't think I can ever complain about it at the end because it's just so dang beautiful.
Well, hang on, Magic. Let me add a caveat to that. They are constantly working on improving the graphics. Yeah. The graphics did not start this good at the beginning. They have made them that way and have constantly rolled out improvements to this and that and the other thing on an ongoing basis. And that's a positive thing about SWTOR that I think deserves to be.
I agree.
Because knowing that Magic was enjoying it so much, that's the one thing I was going to point out too, Sakari. Right along those lines is, of anything that they've given the most attention to, it's actually been graphical quality. Like, this game didn't even launch with legit shadows, Right. And now we've gotten to a point where if you go onto a planet where there are trees with leaves, you can look up at the leaves, and the leaves actually filter the sunlight coming through.
I know.
It's intense,
I couldn't even get over the shadow that my character's emo hair cast, like, across the face. I was like, oh my gosh, there's a shadow with the hair.
You can go up into somebody's faceplate, like a trooper's faceplate, and if it's a reflective faceplate, you'll be able to see yourself.
I know.
that's amazing.
That's what I'm saying.
That's
what
the
I'm
details.
That's what I appreciate. That is what I appreciate. The tiny little things. I went to Ord Mantell and rolled a new smuggler on a new server just for the sheer fact of I wanted to experience everything all over again. And I was staring at the grass. I streamed it. I had like a 5.5 hour stream, and I was like, look at the grass. It's to my kneecaps. It's real. And everyone's like, oh my gosh, calm down. I'm like, no, there's real grass. Yeah. You don't understand. There was no grass on this planet last time I was here. It's a huge deal. It's game changing. And I know not everybody can pay for that. I know they can't. That's okay. Yeah. I'm not saying that you'll never enjoy the game because you don't have that. No, what I'm saying is I appreciate how amazing this game is and how I took it for granted.
Okay.
That's my point.
One of the greatest things to do is actually the first boss fight in Dread Fortress? Yeah, Dread Fortress, or Dread Palace. You go in there, and it's this dark room. If you've got all your graphics to the max, it's this dark room. There's literally shadows everywhere. There are these things growing out of the walls that are like black, and it's just like everything's super, super, super dark, right? And it's just this whole gloomy area. Take your graphics and drop them all to 0, and all of a sudden it turns into this light gray room.
I know.
Like no shaders. It almost looks like 16-bit graphics. I mean, it's like incredible. Yep. And that's basically from start to today. That's where you're going to see the biggest, darkest difference.
I made a new, this was like early last year, I made a new outfit for a character, and I told my old guild leader on Starforge now it is, I was like, hey, look at this outfit. And he goes, I can't really see. Come into the light. And I was like, what do you mean? The whole thing is light. Now I go into the guild shop. I'm like, oh my gosh, there's only light where there's lights. Like,
Yes.
I had no idea.
The light fixtures actually put a circle pool of light underneath them.
Okay.
Yeah, all new.
Graphics are fun. Moving
Moving on.
Elise, what
Yes.
are you enjoying lately?
Well, so my list is very recent. We talk a lot about the beginning content and the old content. So I kind of felt like we needed to talk about some new stuff because that seems to be where some of the angst is coming in.
Okay.
Is more recent. So for me, a lot of this stuff is kind of kitschy, I guess. Maybe to some people, especially nightmare level raiders, maybe wouldn't care, but so I like decorations and outfits, right?
Mm-hmm.
Have you guys looked at the new the Capero decos that they brought in with the new flashpoints?
No, because
That
I don't
drop
run the
in
Flashpoints.
Capero?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, good.
don't
So
run
they have added new decorations?
Yeah, and they are gorgeous. They're, I've been saying, can we get a little less spaceship chic and a little more like sci-fi fantasy kind of?
Okay.
Well, somebody must have been listening. There's wall fountains and hanging plants, like
Oh,
Okay.
man, now I gotta
plants
run
on a
that Flashpoint.
hook.
Wall
and,
fountains I like.
Lanterns
Yeah.
that hang off, a lot of rounded shapes. So really pretty. I said in a Discord chat for Unholy Alliance that I have to like get up on and start running that so I could get some of those.
So Capero, we're gonna have to get a group together. And
Yeah.
go
So
mash it.
I'll run it with you because I won't run it by myself.
I really liked, so I also like the strongholds. And I like the fact that they kind of have been taking chances on the stronghold. I know a lot of people griped kind of about Umbara, but I really did like the fact that they went there and tried. I think trying is good. So I like the fact that they did the stronghold on a train. And that you had to play the flashpoint to get the stronghold. I thought that was cute. Also, with the decos for Life Day, you got the tree with the Umbara train that went around it. I thought that was super cute.
That was really freaking cool. That's the coolest deco I have. I'm very proud of it.
Yeah, I really like that. And the flare that was the snow globe for Life Day too. I thought that was really cute. So
animated decos are fantastic. They all of that. Way back when they started with the decos, they were all just static. Put that there and there it is.
They were just chairs and boxes and couches. And,
but stuff now is like
interactive ones. We've
like
got
the hut ball.
Yeah, absolutely.
To grab the hut ball, that's awesome.
Yeah, and the
Void Star bomb.
That the fish actually move. I thought, and then you've got the animated armor now too that has stuff on it, and the weapons that have stuff on it. I think if you're going to make your cash shop something that you want people to go to, you cannot constantly just reskin stuff. You've got animators who work on the game, let them mess about with that stuff too.
That's right. Let them be creative.
That's right. I really like the fact that they tried to be inclusive. Group content is not the only place that you can bring the community together.
Okay.
And I do know that Keith mentioned to me at the cantina that one of the big pushes for the CXP for the crates was so that the story people who don't run operations and whatnot would have a chance to get set piece gear. And I think that's fair. They pay the same $15 a month that we do, whether or not. So having them get an opportunity to get set piece gear, if they want it, they should have it. And the fact that you can buy at least some level of set piece gear, like we used to be able to for PvP, I think was a good move. So I liked that for this year. And just they've gotten a little bit better, I think, with like the set gear for my shadow, like your shells, your set piece. I like that actually base armor. I think it's kind of cute. I
really
set
like
up
the
some
operative one. I like that one.
Yeah, so I think they've stepped up their game on just the armor styling and stuff. So I hope they continue to push that, because we had a lot of the same stuff there coming out at 4.0 and 5.0. It was a lot of the same like stuff, and it was very boring. Trooper armor and bounty hunter armor, I just didn't even bother putting on.
You want to see the original like set armor shells for troopers? I don't know what words I'm allowed to use.
Helmets. Hashtag helmets.
I can drop the word. You looked like from head to shoulder. You looked like a circumcised, and I won't say the next word. Okay? But see where I'm going. Like, it was really remarkably offensive.
Remarkably offensive.
I really would encourage them though to continue, because again, the bounty hunter and the trooper armor still is very samey. And if you look at KOTOR, if you look at KOTOR, the original KOTOR 2, their folks looked. There was some variation in each faction's kind of like, army folks. And I think they need to have a little bit more differmerization. If you look at army groups, they don't all wear the same armor. So
actually, that's a great observation. Yeah. I mean, you have naval and you have various different forms of military.
That's why I like when you play an agent, you get a lot of different drops, like random drops from different mobs that are different color Imperial shirts. Like there's purple, there's white, there's black, and then there's like the different like
ranks,
I don't know, ornaments and ranks. Right, yeah. Like I like that because there's different ones. Like when my agent gets the purple colored one and you don't have to dye it, it's like this deep, really nice purple. I keep it every time, even if I can only put it on Vector or something because she's got too many outfit slots or whatever. Like, sorry, Magic Baby's mad about something. But no, I really like the agent because of that. It's not just the same thing that every other person in all the flashpoints are wearing. It's different. I'm unique, so I should have something unique.
I like the idea of military formals. Like I want to have a character that looks very formal.
Yes, that's what
military.
I was trying to say. Thank you.
Yeah, formals, absolutely. So is there anything else that you want to throw put on the list, Elise? Stuff that stood out to you?
No, we're running out of time. Go ahead. All
right. Well, I'll just kind of gloss over mine. I've mentioned before that I really like direct sale in the cartel market. This week, they have done a tuning sale where you can buy any tuning that you want to buy, and that is those were the things I was waiting for, was the tunings, because there was one or two looks that I've gone to the GTN. And I look through the tunings and I click them all, to preview. And I'm like, if I could only get that
the robot one. I want the robot one.
For those of us that are not familiar with what tunings are, could you explain, Sakari?
Fair enough. Yeah, that sounds like a great point. So a tuning is an additional modification that you can add to a weapon that will give it some kind of animated feature. Either it can be something like a little bit of lightning that comes out of it, or make it look like it's shorted out, it's broken, or give it like a dark side mystic kind of hue to it, or some kind of like arcs of lightning that come out of it. All kinds of cool different things. One adds a strap to whatever it is, and by the way, let me mention this real quick. They had to go back and visit every single weapon and add in every one of those tunings to every single weapon, so that they had to find how it looked when you add that tuning to it. That's a lot of work. So kudos to that.
Though. So if you watch what Teresa's, she goes through all the tunings.
Right.
Her video for this week. She goes through all the tunings and shows you what they look like. And she did say, I think a couple of the weapons still do not take them.
Right.
And it's not everyone. So make sure you check that for those people who are listening who might want to go get some.
No, that's fair. But I think usually the cartel sale usually lasts about a week. Server reset is tomorrow morning.
I'll never have one.
So go grab it now if you want to get something this week. They do come back around again. So
I just sell them and make a lot of credits.
Yeah, you can do that too. That's also
I've had several and I've been tempted, but I'm like, but they don't really matter. My graphics suck, and so selling them. But now that I have one, I'm like, should I? And then I'm like, nah, I'm just gonna keep making money.
Keep one.
Yeah.
If you're getting a bunch of them, then you'll get another one.
Well, I bought packs in a while. But there for a while, I had like 5 or 6 of them. And then my brother-in-law was sending me a bunch of crap from another server and was like, here, why don't you sell this? And I'm like, okay, I'll sell it. I mean, I made several million. I made 15 million off of one speeder that he gave me. So, I mean, I made a lot of credits, but I now kind of wish I would have saved one. I made a lot of money. I had 8 million off the cheapest tuning that I sold.
They are on sale, but they're only 10% off, I might add. So
only, literally only.
I mean, but if you can't afford it now,
wait, it'll come out. It'll be better. I mean, there's nothing wrong with
it'll
it.
come back around again. And,
it will. So there's that. One of the things that I've been enjoying recently, as I'm just playing back through the vanilla core Imperial Agent story, and I forgot how the intrigue in it when you actually run into Watcher X, and he's like, oh, he hints at things. He's like, oh yeah, they used this conditioning, but he doesn't actually tell you to your face. So it's really cool playing it through a second time, knowing that that's something that's going on. The hints are fantastic.
Yeah. He says multiple things that you totally miss, and you go back through and you're like, well, gosh dang it.
Yeah, I mean, like it's better the second time through, I think, the agent stories. So I've been enjoying that. While we're on the topic of story, one of the things I just wanted to throw out there is that Star Wars is very much about family. You look at the movies; it's really Anakin Skywalker and his children and his his family, how he relates to people, how he was able to be manipulated because he was so fearful of losing people that he loved, that kind of a thing. All of Star Wars is about a family, and I kind of like that they did that in the Kotfi and Kotet storylines. That even though it's a stinking, stupid, dysfunctional family, and the moms run off, and you know what I'm saying, and all the kids are brats, and they kill each other, and there's that dysfunction, but it's still a family saga. And it dawned on me today. I was just driving and musing about this, how they revisited that in this. It's like Star Wars is about family, and I kind of like that idea, And it's the tough things that they deal with, that they go through together, that I think
this time we
makes it relatable.
Just saying.
Yeah. Because everybody's got a crazy kid sister. Everybody's got you know how it is. It's complicated. Everyone feels like their dad wasn't as present as he should have been.
Wow. So. I feel really bad for you. I liked both my sisters and had wonderful parents.
Yeah, I love my parents, and the only sibling I have is like my little cousin. He's like my brother, and I love him very much. We're besties, so. I'm not dysfunctional. Totally. I'm sorry. I mean, I'm dysfunctional, but my family's not.
But everybody can relate, I think, and that's what makes it really cool, and I like that. Just some other things. I like the Master's Datacron and equipment. I think that's something that this game has needed for a very long time. Just to be able to jump me all at an end game, but let me engage with the story at my own pace without, having to level up and be excluded while I do that. Now I can do that as work on CXP. That thing is fantastic. It was one of the best additions they made to the game.
That's
recently.
why I powered level during the 12 XP and the
totally.
double X.
Now you don't need to.
I'm like, I'm not going to get there if I don't do it.
They need to, though, do something about, along with that, they really need to make it so that you don't have to level every single character up to 300. So if they can do a Master's Datacron for
make it a lot cheaper. I think if they make it a lot cheaper,
you need to it's the time. It's the time.
If that's the case, though, I would never work on a pub side tune. I would do all 4 of them for the achievement and then just leave them there.
Yeah.
So
that's what
in my opinion, it's if you leveled, like ESO has that same function, but once you level 1, it carries over to your entire legacy.
Right.
So. And then you don't have to worry about pay to play or anything because everybody has the same opportunity. So they really need to do something like the Master's Datacron for CXP, in my opinion. But
to jump you, I think eventually, I think they will. I think give them
for
some
all
time.
of your characters. So if at least you get 1 to 300 for it to carry over across your legacy, I think really would be helpful for the game.
Well, so we certainly already have the 25% boost for each one that you cap out on, right? And that it spreads across your legacy. But I think actually in conjunction with your idea, Elise, is at the minimum what they should do is if you have other snipers, like I just hit my set sniper at 300, you have other snipers. Or because that 25% boost doesn't come from gunslingers once I've done it on a sniper, frankly, the mirror as well, right? Like all of mine across my legacy that match the sniper should be at that same CXP level. because they're all contributing anyway. I mean, the vast majority of your gear is that you're able to legacy smuggle across anyway. So.
For doing all 8 of them, so then you're negating the achievement. And for the people who've already ground really hard to get that would make them super angry. Not like I'm mentioning anybody like Mox or anything, but I know specific people.
BioWare has already shown that they don't care about what people have or have not achieved, and they'd be happy.
Let's not talk about DVL. Don't mention DVL.
But it's not just. Let's not just slam SWTOR. MMO developers don't care about what people did at the beginning as opposed to the people who come later. Yeah. It just is a fact of life. So, you get that title, you get a title that, game. Right. I mean, the plus is the people who do it first get that achievement, and then the people who come later may not be able to ever get the achievement, and that's just the way it goes. So
I'm fine with that, but apparently I'm an elitist at heart.
As well,
you are.
Actually, we had... For Star Wars: The Old Republic, we actually had a number of the developers. Now they're no longer with us, but they are publicly on the record for saying like the original Rat Ghoul event was meant to be a one-off event that if you were in the game at the time, you got to experience it, but you never get to experience it again. Now they refurbished it and brought it back, but honestly, it's still absolutely nothing like the original event. And they wanted those kinds of things to exist because it gives the game a feeling of history. And then, you have epic storytelling moments on how you got to be able to do this. And yeah, it's unfortunate that somebody that just joined the game didn't have that opportunity. But you know what? You'll have some new ones in the future.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
And there will be YouTube videos of the ones you missed. So.
Yeah. Welcome to the journey.
Honestly, most people who come later, as I have come in after you all have, I would have been mad about that as long as there were other opportunities for me to have the same experience.
Like
the problem is we really haven't had that.
A few years ago,
we realize and move forward with that. But
here's a counterpoint. A few years ago, I was born. I'm not angry that I didn't get to experience the Middle Ages. You know what I'm saying? I'm not angry that I wanted to be in part of Rome. I'm like, hey, I'm happy. I started when I started, and I hope it's positive until I peg. Then we'll just keep
of all the memories of her, you say the Middle Ages. Really? That was the worst time.
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean there was some plague then.
It's okay. I wouldn't want to live at any other time period in life either.
Yeah, no
just
kidding.
like in MMO. The world has been improving over the past few thousand years.
Yes, indeed.
I don't want to go back to the way things were.
I like that my time in this game is marked by having things that people that join tomorrow are not going to get. I appreciate that because I put lots of freaking money into this game. I want to be able to say, I've got something that person doesn't have. My cousin wants to start this game. I want to be able to say, look what I have that you don't have. And you can never get because you didn't start with my game.
Because you suck and I'm awesome. Ha!
No, but like cosmetic type stuff, like titles and like maybe specific mounts. Like, I mean, people aren't getting all salty because ranked gives certain things that you don't have, but yet they're freaking out.
Because the answer is play ranked.
When they got the first ranker, you didn't see the saltiness?
No.
The whole server was like, OMG, you're going to give them a ranker, but I don't get to have a ranker? I want to have a ranker. Come on. I mean, I don't want to have to do anything to earn it, but give me a ranker. Put it on the cartel market. Please do it. And finally they did. You could go gamble in the event.
Yeah, but you can't get that awesome...
It's not fair that somebody actually earned it doing something extremely awesome.
Yeah, that awesome Garrote of the Hut ranker, though.
Yeah,
makes me jealous every time I see it.
Like the Acklay is freaking sweet, but that's something to talk about in another episode probably. Yes, and with that, I would like to say thank you very much for watching the Council Soch. Thank you so much for talking in our chat with us and giving us lots of stuff on the straw poll. Always paying attention to that. Thank you so much. Thank you for everything, for clicking on our links, for following us on Twitter. We love that you love this game and this podcast and or live Twitch show. We also love that you love us because if you didn't love us, this would be a very awkward show for you. So thank you very much. We appreciate it.
And that brings us to the end of the episode. For the rest of the council who's not so thankful, we are adjourned. If you'd like to reach us, you can email us at thecouncil@thecouncilswotor.com. You can find Elise on Twitter at abrown35, Magic Ace at the Magic Ace, me at R3DN4, and Sakari at I am Sakari. Don't forget to visit our website, thecouncilswotor.com, and follow us on social media. Also, don't forget our Patreon page at patreon.com/thecouncilswotor. That's it for this week, guys. Your pains have strengthened us. Our union has transcended death.
I understand.
You are on this council.
but we do not grant you the rank of master.
What? How can you do this? This is outrageous. It's unfair. How can you be on the council and not be a master?
Take a seat, young Skywalker.
Forgive me, Master.